It's the catalyst for change you've been waiting on. New Mind, New Me, from Bishop David G. Evans.
I want to be loved. Why do I take the person that loves me and kick them to the curb? I want to be wealthy, but I spend all my money.
You were created and given a slave, a doulos, a servant called your mind. Your mind is out of order when it questions your command.
If you are ready for true transformation, Bishop David G. Evans would like to bless you with the New Mind, New Me 4-message DVD set. Order today, and you will also receive Bishop Evans' national best-selling book, Healed Without Scars, as well as the Healed Without Scars music CD.
My mind's going where I tell it to go. It'll never go back. It's my mind. It's going to do what I say.
All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today. Be prepared to watch a new you emerge.
It's now easier than ever to stay connected with David G. Evans and the Bethany Baptist Church family. Follow the ministry and rejoice in all that God is doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, you'll be up to date on the latest happenings. You can watch our Sunday services on Facebook Live, 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern.
Here comes the power. Hallelujah.
Words of wisdom and encouragement can be found on Twitter, and you'll get up to the minute sermon points as they happen in our weekly worship services. Follow us on Instagram and be blessed by the inspirational and special moments that are highlighted each week, and meet the people who are the heart of our ministry. And if it's video you want, subscribe to the Bethany Baptist Church channel on YouTube. See the celebrations, the special events, and the many, many people who are helping to transform lives one at a time. Stay connected with David G. Evans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and become a member of our broadcast family today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
I was in here. Praise the Lord. Welcome to On Point. The #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call and talk show in America, live every Saturday morning on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. I'm so glad you've taken the time to join us again today, as we are going to keep you up to date with the latest things in the news, but always from a kingdom perspective, always from the perspective of the salvation that you live, the Bible that we believe, the God that we trust. Of course, joining me once again is my world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith. Hey, man.
Good morning. How are you?
All right. How you doing?
Good.
A lot going on this week.
Yeah, to say the least.
A lot happening. We're going to try to discuss some of it. We probably won't reach all of it. But you can give us a call. You can always talk to us, 1-866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. 866-74-EVANS. You can give us a call from anywhere in the world. We'd be so glad to hear from you. We want to welcome our audience from all over the United States. Those listening and watching us from the Bahamian Islands, from Canada, from Europe, from Asia, Africa.
Excuse me.
Those of you that are joining us from around the world, we're so glad that you took the time to join us today. Come on.
We used to.
Come on.
They used to say, yeah.
Okay. So glad you joined us today. A lot going on.
Yeah. Yep.
Some stuff I think is serious, but other stuff is critical.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm glad the president stopped his viral tour.
He did? He should have done
Yeah, he was supposed to go somewhere, and they canceled it.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure why, but where was he going?
He's going to New Hampshire, and because
Yeah.
the storm is up there, he's not going.
He says because of the storm he's not going, but the storm. COVID storm. Of course, Cohen got locked up again yesterday, and they're saying the ulterior motive is that he insisted on writing his book, and so they had him locked up again.
Now maybe I'm too pragmatic. You couldn't write this book in quiet where nobody knew it, and then after your term is over, release the book.
I think he could have.
I mean, that's better than jail. I mean, in my eyes.
Well,
maybe I'm wrong, but
he's helping everybody but his attorney.
yeah.
But I would think that he would be helping his attorney, since his attorney probably has the most vital information
Yeah.
that could hurt him. But I've stopped trying to think logically when it relates to thought process.
That's true.
But he's back in jail, and at the same time, simultaneously, put in his face, he commutes stones.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is that he commuted it rather than pardoning him. So that means that the criminal charges still follow him.
Yep.
So is that maintaining some leverage on him?
Probably. Yeah. Some control.
Because can he remove the commutation?
That is a good question, Doc. I'll look it up and see.
Can you take away pardons and commutations and those type of things? And so he's still at the mercy. I think I would be more afraid of Cohen than I would be of just me. And then he's supposed to be on home arrest. Cohen's supposed to be on home arrest, and they got pictures of him about town, having dinner and having a good time and hanging out, and that's not supposed to be part of his probation.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what that's about. I did see that the government is about to ask for the money back from those excess unemployment checks.
Okay.
Yeah, because people were getting more money than they were making before.
Yeah.
And they thought that they were okay, but they asked for it to send it back now.
Right. But now this whole thing was sloppy from the door.
Yeah.
You send over $1 billion to dead people.
Yeah.
You give people too much money.
Yeah.
And now you demand it all back.
Absolutely. That's the IRS.
That's unorganized from the door.
Well, they're going to correct it.
Yeah.
The dead people, I'm sure their families maybe cashed the checks already. So they're going to owe that money.
Yeah.
The people that got $1,200, $1,100 a week unemployment when they were only making $6, they want the money back now.
I'm sure.
Understand the moratorium on mortgages was lifted. So if you got behind, a lot of them are demanding all the money now.
Mm-hmm.
But how can you get the money if you're not working?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're spending on, you had to go for food instead of,
Mm-hmm.
mortgage. So
Yeah.
I think the banks are going to reap a harvest of properties.
Mhm. And people go bankruptcy like crazy.
Absolutely. It's not going to be a good thing. So I'm not sure that this was a well thought out plan.
No.
And I'm not sure it's going to be good for. I wonder how the administration is going to try to explain that away.
Yeah. I'm sure they're probably hoping until after the election to be able to, if he wins again, let this
Yeah.
thing kind of pass. But I will say some states are stepping up to help those people, saying the federal government is saying that the moratorium's lifted, but some states are saying, no, we're going to keep that law in place.
Then what the federal government's going to say then
Yeah.
is that we're not giving you money to help them.
That's the problem.
You're going to help them
That's
yourself.
the thing. So New Jersey and New York since COVID, are in massive debt.
I'm sure.
From the amount of the hospitals and
I'm
everything.
sure.
And the federal government's not stepping up to help.
COVID survivor gets $1 million+ bill after 2 months in what?
Yeah, his bill was over $1 million. 2 months in the hospital. It was,
And they charge him $1 million?
yeah. Now this is before insurance, but still, how much is the insurance company going to cover?
He's still going to looks like he should have maybe $100,000, $200,000 to pay.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Who you tell?
I think they were. Where's the article? I think just the room alone was like a couple $1,000s a day.
Because they had to put that extra stuff in there.
Extra stuff in there, yeah.
Oh.
You talking about $10,000-$15,000 a day.
Oh man,
That's
that's
crazy.
enough to make you go back in the hospital.
Who you telling? Right.
I'm serious, man. Just be like, take me back.
That's a lot of money.
Fake your own death.
Yeah, everybody's wondering. It did dry up. We're having drive-in
Yeah.
service today, so don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, come on, drive your car out.
Yeah.
We're having drive-in service again today.
Yeah. It's not supposed to rain until around 5. So
Yeah, so we should be good.
Yep.
Weather's drying up everything very well, and our lot of courses. I got out and walked across it today, so
Okay.
it looks pretty
Yeah.
good.
They're gonna put some tarp down too around the equipment and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Asking you also reminding you all that are locked out geographically to join our Connections Church, Connections group. For those locked out geographically, you want a deeper, more engagement with the ministry, join Connections. We're glad to have you be a part of our virtual congregation worldwide. Subscribe to David J. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube for all of our videos and content and all that good stuff. So, Supreme Court gets involved in something that I don't think should have ever been involved in.
Right.
And some people are saying that as a victory.
Yep. Yep.
Do I care what kind of birth control you use?
Right. No. Why? Why y'all up in everybody's bedroom? Like,
The Supreme Court rules that organizations don't have to provide insurance for birth control. So, you want your employees to pay for that themselves?
yes.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, okay. So, what is the interest in it? That's my issue. Why is it an issue?
from what I've read and what I've heard, they say it's a win because now single people, we're not funding their fornication. First, implying that this is religious organizations, not that are really complaining about this, of course. Not forgetting that you got married people on your staff too.
Yep.
They use birth control.
Yep.
Assuming all single people are just out there just doing their thing.
Okay.
Also assuming that there are women that use birth control for other medical stuff in their body to
Right.
regulate their the cycle and everything.
Right.
Then the other thing we want to jump into it. I'm not premarital sex condoning this.
Okay.
I'm not saying this at all. But what I
But
am
you can't act like it's not happening.
right. But what I am saying is that when Obama made contraceptives easier, teen pregnancies went down.
Okay.
The STD rates went down.
Okay.
Abortions went down.
Okay.
When contraceptives was more easily available to people. Now, I'm not saying that we should go,
Yeah,
I'm just
I get
stating-
it, but contraceptives reduces the platform of opposition to abortion. and they want that principle to stay intense. So they would be against abortion, but would be against contraceptives. But here's my thing. So are you now going to take a survey? Because how do you find out that a person on your staff is using contraceptions? You have to ask them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then you can call your insurance company and say, we're not funding this part of that plan.
Right.
All right, so we're going to start asking people, do you drink?
Mm-hmm.
Because biblically, if this is a biblical stance, I'm not paying your liquor bill either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I shouldn't have to pay for you to go to the movies. Mm-hmm. Cable is something I don't need to pay for either, because you may be watching something I don't want you to watch.
Right. Yep.
Where this is ridiculous, and the Supreme Court is somebody drove this issue to the Supreme Court. We've got injustice in the streets.
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe you can help me out with this. Why are the sexual sins such a heavy topic for them? I don't understand that concept.
They love doing it, but hate talking about it.
Okay. It's like, why?
They got 4, 5, 6 kids apiece. So obviously they're doing something.
Yeah.
But you're just not supposed to bring it up. Right. They just kind of materialized in the house. We got another kid. When did that happen?
Right.
It's just ridiculous.
Somebody in the comment section, and this is true, when are they, if they're going to do this, when are they going to do the same push for Viagra, Cialis? Because you notice all the stuff they're against are stuff that
they're not against that.
They ain't against the stuff that's going to help them in.
They're not against that. No, all that help they're not against. No. They just don't want to help you not get pregnant. That's all.
Right. Yep.
Oh no. Going too far now. Going too far.
Right. You mess with our stuff.
No. But they're not all having 12, 13 kids apiece. It's amazing. The same group loves wealth. Hates talking about it.
Yep. Yeah. They have a prosperity gospel too.
But I was in a conversation. This was really I don't want to say too much about this, but I was in a conversation with a major person in the film industry, and we started talking about movies and things, and start talking about the fact that ministry. But we do need to make a profit on it.
Sure.
And the project that we're talking about need to make a profit on.
Sure.
So I felt the conversation change. Our main message. I said, excuse me. Do you work for the company that I'm trying to do business with? Yes. For them to pay you, do you need a profit? Well, yeah, they do need to make a profit. I said, so don't act like that you don't like making a profit in the things that you do.
Absolutely.
Because you're talking to me,
yes,
and trying to give me the impression that in the film industry, you're not interested in money.
Please, come on now.
Give me a break.
Come on.
I'm like, so you guys don't, your boss doesn't want you to make money on the projects you bring to the company?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Then don't give me the whole, ministry. We're not worried about money. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Yeah, you are. Because you want to be able to eat, take care of your people.
The film industry is always publishing whether they make money or not.
Absolutely. This was all
and
about.
Films that don't make money, they don't like.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There you go. Absolutely.
I'm like, and faith-based films are supposed to make money. Or they're going to stop making them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But maybe help me out here. So, and I'm around some evangelicals, so I see what they're
conflicted.
Yeah, it's like when there's a money flaw, there's more of a grace to allow somebody back.
Absolutely.
But if there's a sexual flaw, it's like go away.
Crucifixion.
And some of them, the ones that I know, are so. I wonder if they're so angry and angry because they're so repressed and in denial of what's going on with them.
They are.
Okay, I'm just wondering what your thoughts are.
Because I'm going back to my illustration. They all got 4 or 5 kids apiece.
Yeah.
They don't think anything's wrong with making kids. They just don't want to talk about it.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Doesn't make any sense. 1-866-743-8267. 1-866-743-8267. This is On Point. Give us a call. The number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in the whole United States of America. So, I'm amazed that top law firms got $200 million in PPP loans.
Bishop.
And I got news yesterday. You need to call what's her name? Because yeah,
lately.
yeah, because there's something we have to fill out or something. She called me, let me know there's something we have to fill out. So this thing, because the $200 million, if you use it properly, that the law firms got, becomes a grant.
Okay.
If they use it properly. So they're going to forgive all this money.
Yep.
Which I'm not mad about.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm wondering, I was talking to someone yesterday, the average citizen does not know, especially small business owners, to go to their bank and get their bank to assist them in getting the PPP.
Okay. Yeah, that's the best. Yeah.
They think they do it on their own, but you know the banks know the language, and the banks are the unpublicized method by which the government wants you to apply for the money.
Okay.
So you've got a ton of folk applying for it, getting rejected because they don't know the nuances of the application.
Yeah, that's true. And that Kanye's company, a couple other ones, making huge amounts of money. Got these things. They talked to their bank first, had them fill the paperwork out. Done just like that.
And what it does, the bank applications, unfortunately, push the private citizen application to the bottom of the list, or the smaller businesses to the bottom of the list. So it's you know, you have to know the nuances of how to navigate this, and this is in every government program. You've got, even when you write grants, you've got to know the language of the person that you're trying to get the grant from. If you don't know the language, you'll miss the grant. Not because you're not qualified.
Right.
You just don't know how to communicate with the people that have the money.
Right. The sad part is that some of these businesses, the airport just talked about it, are still going to lay their people off as soon as this thing is over.
Oh, yeah.
And they just announced it. They're going to furlough a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah. Thousands. So now the loan that became a grant becomes revenue.
Yep.
And then they reduce the expenses, and that translates into profit. Pretty simple.
This is I like capitalism, but it is so
It is
cold,
brutal. It's
man.
brutal, man. It's brutal.
Oh my goodness, it's cold.
It's brutal. Let's go to Bunny from Daytona. Good morning, Bunny. How you doing?
Bishop, how are you? Pastor Nick, how are you?
Hi.
We're doing the best we can with the hand we were dealt.
Yeah.
Well, praise God. Listen, I just very short wanted to know, did you all see the video? With,
Yes.
that's all I
Yes.
wanted to hear your thoughts.
Well, I was not surprised because the silence on major issues is them not disagreeing with the president administration. So they're fulfilling their deal. They're not saying anything when they need to criticize, and they're not going against them, and that's not going against them. So the guy broke off, and I realized when I saw the guy, I met him at a meeting, and he seemed sincere when I met him, and he got convicted.
Yes,
And
that was the part that blessed me.
Yeah, he got convicted and said this is not right, and they cut a deal with the present administration. Evangelicals, obviously from the tape, cut a deal with the president.
With the devil.
I'll give you what you want, but you got to support me. And so all of a sudden, when I saw him say that, the silence suddenly was very significant.
Sense.
Yes, very significant.
It just all made sense.
And all the stuff that they demanded from the previous administration, they're not demanding now, as far as morale and morals and are you a Christian and truth and integrity, they went silent on all of that because somehow they figured out that if we give us some justices and support our platform on abortion and birth control, that we're willing to just put up with everything else you do.
And what did their justices just do?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Right, and that's all. I just wanted to just hear you all's thoughts,
Yeah,
about
the video
it.
was very telling, but not shocking, because it explained a whole lot of positions that I had wondered, why are they so silent now? Why are they so silent now? But I didn't know there was a formal deal cut, and each of them is fulfilling their parts of the deal.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
And it just made sense. Another thing too, God had shown me, like, buku years ago, how there was going to be a mass exodus of blacks from predominantly white churches, evangelical
Somebody
churches.
prophesied that last
Yeah,
year.
did they?
Yeah, and
New Year's Eve.
I
Did
saw
I'll tell you
that.
what
I wrote. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I saw that. I wrote about it, but what I didn't know was what Bob Schenck said about the mass exodus of young people leaving the white leaving evangelical church.
Yeah.
And that it's almost like hemorrhaging people because of the hypocrisy that they see. And I found that very interesting because the impression one would get, I got, was that the base was so strong that they would literally go just straight to hell as far as following this person. And not knowing that.
Golly.
She said this person.
Yeah.
Whereas I was actually relieved that others were convicted, that they could see the hypocrisy in it. And then all of the things that you had said about, which I did not know from your level, how many ministries were not even talking to you who you had fellowship with. Now, I did know that many of these ministries had built their fame and sometimes even wealth on black ministries. But you gave great insight. And now when I saw that video, it said, for me, it made more sense. It just made sense because nothing was making sense. How can these people who we knew to be prophetically full of integrity, on point, or excellent ministers, anointed, all of that, who spoke against racism, and all of a sudden they are silent or they are supporting a racist, or it just nothing made sense until I heard Robert Schenk's video.
And I think sometimes the ambiguity, if I can use that word, of our own people, in that I know one of the advisors to the president pastored a predominantly African-American congregation. And I was amazed at how slowly the congregants reacted to her political position, her public statements. It was like they were slow to react or respond to what I believe has always been her heart. And I get the sociological piece of it. There are a lot of ministers, like you say, who built their ministries with the aggressive participation of people with color.
Right.
And it cannot be denied, and they don't deny it. But I did not know that, how can I say this biblically? They wanted the sheep for their wool and not for the sheep themselves.
Oh, my God. That's powerful, Bishop.
Yeah. That's what I've seen. Some of them are my peers. They have made a conscious or unconscious or both decision that they no longer need those sheep. So the speckled and the spotted sheep, which got them where they are, they've gotten to a new field and decided they don't need those sheep any longer.
And I think about, Bishop, when I would, my money would many times go into these, and my father, I mean, he would even give way more. He and my parents, and you feel betrayed.
Yeah, I know. I one of the top female evangelists in the country. One of my good friends went to one of her meetings, a regular meeting. Thousands of women had assembled, and the meeting turned into a Trump rally.
Oh, Jesus.
And when people started to leave, they literally said, "Let them go," and just, started the "Make America Great" thing again, and how he's going to bring us back to where we need to be. And this happened at the meeting. Very prominent, very prominent. I call her the Joker now after she's had her plastic surgery, because that's what she looks like to me.
You should have said that, because I know now he's talking about exactly what my son said. Mommy, she looks like the Joker.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh God, she's one of my girls. Because I like how she would do the she would go into the deep inner cities, black parts, and just do just awesome things. But they just have to be really careful.
Well,
they really do.
I think when the Lord reveals somebody's heart to you, you can't ignore it. And I'm serious. A lot of these people that have kind of turned away have been to our church multiple times.
Oh my God.
And I've been to their stuff, and been on their platforms, been on their television shows, and it just, to see that they apparently saw part of the population as a means to an end is extremely disappointing, but absolutely essential that we knew where everyone's heart was.
Yes.
And there's no, administration ends and oops, my bad, I'm available to come preach for you again. No, you're not.
Oh.
No, you're not. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you soon.
Bishop,
Yes.
before I go, just one more thing. You remember all the prophecies about the 2020 vision?
Yeah.
Well, we're seeing a lot of things, even stuff that we didn't want to see.
Absolutely.
So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, God had his hand on us.
Yes. Okay,
Talk to you soon now.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
We got Misha from Florida and Jonathan after that from Philly. Good morning, Misha.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
I'm okay, just trying to stay safe.
Do that, please. Your state is in the news quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what I want. I caught you guys on the talk show last week, and you were just discussing about the, no disrespect, but, to the pastors that are opening up churches, and they're saying that God is telling them to open up these churches, and that's a lot of that is going on down here.
In Florida?
Now, yeah. Now, listen to this.
Okay.
It's a pastor in particular. He said, God told him to open up the church. Now, come to find out, he didn't publicly announce it, but they announced it on a private platform. Him and his wife both were tested positive for COVID-B, and some of the members are sick now. So now what do? They don't go public about it. Only the members of the church know. And the reason how I found out is because I had one of the members gave me the link, like to sign in sometimes, like on their prayer calls. And that's how I was able to find out. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't have known if I wouldn't have, popped in on this little group meeting.
I think from a leader point of view, I think that good leaders not only talk about what they feel led to do, but good leaders talk about the result. And I've often wondered, if you tell your congregation, God is saying go back to church, and then part of your congregation becomes sick and maybe some die, what do you follow up and say with that?
Now it's the enemy now. That's what you're saying.
They switch fields now. But the fact, if you told me God said to do it, then a God result is supposed to come out of it. So instead of just coming out and saying, look, I didn't hear God, but then what do you say to your folk?
Right. And I'm angry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think the economic pressures are forcing people to come up with a spiritual response. I had a pastor tell me on a conference call, tell the group I was on a conference call, that basically the government had no right to tell us not to join, not to come together. Well, the fact of the matter is, I feel as long as it's not safe for grandma, it's not safe for anybody.
So
Right.
I'm not bringing folk back together until it's safe for grandma. That just makes, and my grandmother's not alive. So I got to make sure it's safe for your grandmother to come to church. And your children, and your middle-aged people, and your not-so-old people to come to church. Not, and everybody's feeling economic pressure. And I get why some of them are going back. They're making it spiritual, but I think it's economic also. Because you got some pastors that live on the road, and the road is no longer available. You got pastors that go 4 or 5 days a week, and that's how they supplement their income because the church perhaps cannot do it. And the road vanished. So there's some economic hardship, but you cannot cherish bucks over bodies. You cannot do it. You have to cherish the sheep. I believe God honors those that cherish the sheep. If I'm making sense.
You're making a lot of sense, and I think I'm so angry now because I caught you guys afterwards, and this particular ministry, prior to listening to you guys' talk show, I did go in. I did go visit, but I had on my mask. However, half of the congregation didn't have on a mask, but since then I've gone and got tested.
Yeah, you should have turned around and walked out of there.
Yeah, I feel so stupid now, and I'm like, they wouldn't have told me that they both tested positive, the pastor and his wife, unless if I had not joined in on that go-to meeting.
If it wasn't for discretion, I'd ask you if I know them. But it's a lot of that decision making is happening around the country, and I believe people are applying spiritual reasoning to something that requires faith and common sense, faith and wisdom.
I'm on a talk show.
And wisdom, tell them you're on Talk Show Girl. And wisdom.
Yes.
And
I love black people.
And
I love black people.
I'm on Talk Show Girl.
I love black people. I do.
Go on, baby. I hear you.
I thought I hit the mute button. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
It's cool.
So I think a lot of us are feeling pressure and don't know how. We don't have anyone with sense to talk to. In New York, I know from one of my friends died of COVID. Guy that helped consecrate me to be a bishop died of COVID. But they kept insisting on meeting even after they were told it was dangerous. 6 or 7 bishops in Detroit died. They insisted. Well, you know how we have funerals.
Yeah.
We sweat at our funerals. It's not a non-participatory event in most churches. You got choir singing. You got folks shouting hallelujah. I mean, it's a fertile environment for this type of thing. So I just think they're succumbing to pressure and giving spiritual reasons for it, but they're not talking about the outcome, and that's wrong. And that's wrong.
That's so wrong. Yeah.
Thank you, Mish.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Talk to you soon. Let's go to Jonathan from Philly. What time is it? Do we need a break yet?
9:39.
Man, let's go to Jonathan first, and then we'll go to break. And then we're coming back to Danny. Hey, John.
Yes, good morning.
How you doing this morning, man?
Always great to hear you in the morning.
Man, glad you called us, man. You keep us going.
I wanted to address something this morning that I've been thinking about for actually a couple of years.
You're always thinking about stuff for a couple of years, Jonathan.
and that is my relationship with you in the audience.
Okay.
I think people get the wrong idea where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
From very early, I had an experience with my father. It was nothing serious. We were walking along the beach, and there was something, and I wanted to look at it. And he said, "No, we got to keep going." But it was something really interesting, and it just really hit me that I said, "No, come on, I want to see." No, we got to keep going, and I never found out what it was. Okay. But I thought it was important, and I said, I will never not listen to the truth.
Okay.
The truth is so very important to me. And that is one of the premium things in my life. And love, truth and love, is in the Bible. John 4:23.
Yes, sir.
And so when it's like in when Joshua went into the land and he met this angel, and he said, "Are you for us or for our enemy?" And he said, "No, but I've come as captain of the army of the Lord."
Right.
It's like, I don't have an objective here, you or any. I'm here for God's truth, justice, righteousness, mercy, grace, whatever. Okay. And that's the approach I try to take.
Yes, sir.
Now, when I call in about, there was a lady who was a housewife, I guess. I don't really remember the background, but and there was something going wrong in the school. So she ran for the school board and became on the school board and changed what was wrong.
Okay.
And then the town was wrong. Okay, they were running the town wrong. So she ran for mayor, became mayor of the town, and straightened that out.
Okay.
And then she saw that the state was planning to give a lot of what it shouldn't to big corporations.
Okay.
And she said, "No, that's wrong." And she ran for governor and became governor and made sure the corporations didn't steal all the wealth from the people.
Okay. And your point?
Okay.
Your point is?
And that was Sarah Palin.
Okay.
Okay. And I thought that was right what she did. And when she was running for vice president, she said, "Well, I do know a little bit about international affairs because there's an island like miles between me and Russia, and I have to be concerned about things in Russia."
One of the most inane statements I've ever seen.
Well, I can see Russia from this island, But then people said,
"From her backyard."
People said, "Oh, Sarah Palin can see Moscow from her kitchen." Okay, that was really unfair.
That was unfair? She said it.
That was unfair. She didn't say, "I can see Moscow from my kitchen."
She said her back porch.
No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes.
She said
back porch.
Well, I'll have to
she
look
said,
that
"I can
up.
see Russia from my house."
From my house. Okay, from my house.
It's still the same thing.
That's the same thing. I can see it from my house is what you said.
Okay, I'll have to look that up.
That is, you were doing real good, Jonathan, until you got to that part.
Well, I'll have to verify that because that's not the way I heard it.
I can see Pennsylvania from New Jersey, but I shouldn't be the governor of Pennsylvania. All right, John, we got to go, man. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
My point is I'm trying to get to the truth always.
Take you a long time.
Okay.
Good. Bye. Danny, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. Good morning, Pastor Nick and staff. How y'all doing today?
We're doing great, man. How's my sister doing?
She's doing great. She's doing great.
All right.
But I just wanted to have a few comments that
Go ahead,
I would
man.
just like to bring. I'm just confused as ever as to what's going on in my part of the world here.
Florida's in the news, man.
Yes, and it's not getting any better. The hospitals are at full capacity, and some of them have actually ran out of room. They're not publicizing it, and they're not saying. And some of them even have tents outside for the corona victims. They're not even bringing them inside of the hospital per se. And as I told you before, the ones that the government, the temporary tents that the government had that was separated from the hospitals, they have long moved them out. Where they went, I don't know.
Okay.
So there is no other fall that if things were to get even worse, which they are, to take care of those that need the medical attention. And I found out that the reason why we have not been getting the information that we should is that we had a visit yesterday, and the focus was not on the situation of the people, but it was like another photo op. And there was no attention given to the people that were sick or to the situation or any remedies for us to get out of the situation that we're in.
Who visited the state yesterday?
The president.
He was in Florida yesterday?
Yes, yes, sir.
For to go to Mar-a-Lago or just a tour?
No, he came directly, sir, to Miami.
Okay.
Oh, did
The
he?
heart of it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The vice president or the president?
President.
The president.
Okay.
Okay.
How did I miss
Came
that?
in.
I didn't even know about it.
The situation is, everything is so much under control, and the people were like in an outrage and say, "Wait a minute, there was no mention of the people. We need help. A lot of people are unemployed. They need food. You still have the lines of people coming in try to get food and stuff like that. It's bad."
I saw one of your health representatives for the state yesterday. And businesses generally know how to play games with percentages. And if you're not careful, you can dehumanize your reality with percentages. So he said, well, we're down 1% in the number of people that have died as of today, as compared to last month sometime. And that was supposed to make people feel like they had a grip on what was happening in Florida.
Right.
And I'm sitting there, I'm saying, so the people that still passed away, they're not significant now. Yeah. And you're trying to tell us that because there's a 1% shift today of something you have no control over that could go up 10% by the end of the month, that you guys are making progress. But people's acting like there's plenty of rooms in the hospitals, plenty of equipment. When I saw a report yesterday, they're asking, the vice president asked the hospital workers to start reusing the stuff that they're using and to treat the masks and the coverings. I saw it myself. Wow. You got to start reusing some stuff.
Right. And the other situation that they have is that they say, well, we are only at, we have plenty of beds that are available. The problem is that, and I know some people that work in the hospitals, that they're so overworked.
They don't have enough people to treat the folk.
Exactly. And the hurtful thing is, they said the proper situation with the corona situation is to have one-on-one as far as taking care of that particular person that is ill.
Yeah.
Now you have as one nurse to two patients. Now, who do I attend to?
There's a confirmation bias that goes on in every individual that we tend to lean towards the people we're the most comfortable with, and that is a deadly psychological position for people in the medical field, not for the doctors and the nurses, but for the patients. I don't like the way they're playing with the numbers. It's like the unemployment thing. So you tell me we got 2 million jobs added in a month. Ignore the fact we got 60 million people on unemployment. That's not good. When we talk about, we gained 10 cents over here, but we lost $1 million over here. Right. I mean, don't talk to me about the profit when we lost $1 million.
And they do not talk about the businesses that are going out of business.
Of course,
those that are completely closed down.
Well, because the small businesses are considered like weeds. Another one's going to pop up in its place. It's the large businesses that are taken care of. I saw a couple of my contemporaries. Their ministries got 3. One ministry got $10 million in PPP. How's that? So he's taking care of his constituents.
Yep.
I don't know, man. Danny, I'm praying for you all.
Thank you. We need it. We need it.
Tell my sister to stay strong.
And one other thing I just wanted to go ahead and comment on, and I thought it was very interesting that you and Pastor Nikki were talking about the communion and what have you, and how to go on with the service. I really liked that. It was enjoyable. I just want you to tell us something about respecting the communion, but also the benediction.
Yeah.
You want to rush out on that. Just give us a little thought on that.
Yeah, it was a revelation for us sitting right there, I believe. in that historically, when we take communion, the next thing that a lot of congregations do is head right out the door. And they sang a song and they went out. And what that showed, what we got as a revelation that day is that we're leaving miracles and breakthroughs on the table when true worship should break out, and a period of the supernatural should break out after we've taken the communion.
Amen.
And because we're rushing out, we're missing the move of God.
Right.
But I would advise everyone that can to go on our site. It should be on our Facebook page on the video.
Yeah, so
and that
Facebook,
will be
YouTube,
July's communion.
July's communion. Yep.
And watch that and follow it all the way through. Take your notes, but get a revelation on communion. I think that your life will never be the same.
And I thank you all very much, Bishop.
All right, man.
Excellent job.
Take it easy, man.
God bless you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Last call of the day, I believe. Mika? Hey, Mika.
Got 9 minutes.
Tamika?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
All right, welcome to OnPointe.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to comment. First, I had a question. If churches that are 5013C certified and title licensed, do they lose their 5031C nonprofit organization if they give political positioning from their pulpit? That was my first question.
No, ma'am.
Oh, they don't?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
You're allowed to talk. You're allowed to talk about it. You can't tell people how to vote, but under this president, those restrictions have been taken away. So you can
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can campaign.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Shout out, Bishop.
Yeah,
hey, how you doing?
You can campaign. You can. This president's taken all that restriction away from the church. So now they can become. You can take a political position for a candidate.
Wow, and it's just funny how they changed so much for this particular person. And I'm just going to say particular person.
Yeah.
But, we still claiming our president. Our president went through so much. And lastly, big shout out to John because he was talking all about truth and love. And he gets so much backlash because he's long-winded. But what I will say is to segue off of Mr. Wise John, he told me about elderberries 2 or 3 years ago, and they've been saving me and my parents' life. But he was talking about truth and love, and what I will say is, I don't know what the propaganda is or what the political agenda was for all this that's happening. We're slowly finding layer after layer of truth, but what is being revealed now is nothing but truth. So much is coming out, and can't nobody stop that. God said He will make us free with His truth. Truth will make us free. So He's freeing us, even though we're in isolation. We're seeing all the things that these large corporations saying that they couldn't do. Oh, no, you can't work from home. Now everybody's working from home.
Yeah.
We can't, we're not going to ration. We're not going to violate your civil liberties or anything else. They're doing everything that they said that they wouldn't do or everything they couldn't say they would do. So I'm just thankful that we are seeing it. We are covered. And ain't nothing going to happen crazy unless God say. And He ain't going to say nothing. My last question is,
Girl, you ain't really asked no question. You make a statement. Go ahead.
This Tamika Johnson.
Well, I did ask a question. I talked about 51%. I ain't arguing with you because you always win. Anyway, lastly, I know reentry is going to come.
Yeah.
But do you think with how they're governing everything and how they're contradicting each other, I'm talking about the chief of staff, do you think that this is a move and an attempt to corporatization of America? I mean, it already is, like where they're squeezing out the smaller businesses. And
I think you're seeing that trend. I think that there's always this fine balance between keeping voters and losing voters, and then they're concerned with satisfying the money and not so dissatisfying the people that don't have money. There's this tightrope walk that they're always involved in. They're trying to get their agenda satisfied and keep the middle class and the lower class hypnotized so that they continue to vote for things that are against their self-interest.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
you know, we see it all over the country. Just people just are voting for things that don't benefit them, yet say it's good for them.
Yes.
Anybody's racial vote is usually not logical.
That's true.
You know,
Very
so you see conclusions reached, and saying to yourself that makes no sense. You know, we're getting ready to see now, if something isn't done, a tsunami of foreclosures. Getting ready, a number of people are about to be on the hook for excess payments of unemployment.
Yeah.
Families are going to have to give that $1 billion back of checks they cashed for deceased people when the stimulus checks came. There's getting ready to be an impact economically that's going to be incredible. And the only reason they will not come after these folk is they don't want to turn off the votes.
That's right. That's true. I agree.
You know, they'll wait until after November, and then they'll say, okay, take the houses, get the money back, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be really.
And America will have been bamboozled yet again. Yet again. It happens every 4 years, I swear. But thank you for your time. Y'all have a happy Saturday. I don't want to take nobody extra time. Shout out Nick, Pastor Nick. Thank you, everybody.
All right. See you later.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Be blessed. Yes.
Don't forget 12 noon today, our drive-in service. You don't want to miss it. We're going to finish that conversation on Abigail. We know you're going to have a good time. Tomorrow, of course, all of our services, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we have a special anniversary service at 6.
Oh, we're going live at 5:30.
We're going live at 5:30.
Yeah.
Okay,
Before
on our
service,
Facebook page, right?
Yep. All
Anywhere else? All of them?
All of them, yep.
Instagram, Facebook?
Well, not Instagram. Just because Instagram is the stream is different on
Okay,
there,
so it's not all of them.
all the main ones that we always do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're on Facebook,
Periscope,
Periscope,
YouTube.
And that Periscope thing is the Twitter thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, and YouTube. So we'll be live tomorrow at 5:30, and then again once the service is over, we'll come back live again. Apostle Ron Carpenter is our guest tomorrow. Once again, join our Connections group. Phil's telling me we're running out of time. You subscribe to us, please. David G. Evans 1, BBC of NJ on YouTube. BBC of NJ on YouTube. David G. Evans 1. Is that YouTube too? On YouTube. Subscribe to us, please, so you can get the notifications and stuff when we have content coming for you. A lot of good stuff coming on. If you have not seen the movie, the coming attractions to the movie Negative Exposure, I would ask you to go on the Facebook page, go on, I don't know if we're on Twitter yet. Yeah, I think I saw it over on Twitter.
On Twitter, yeah.
Yeah,
with a link to it.
A link to Twitter, yeah. And you probably can see it on YouTube soon enough. I don't know if we're there yet. Anyway, the guaranteed way is to go on Facebook, David G. Evans 1, scroll down, look for the trailer, the coming attraction of the movie called Negative Exposure, and then write us and share it and tell us what you think. All right. Is that it, Phil?
Yeah, we're
now,
6s.
This has been On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Live every Saturday morning on any smart device at David G. Evans 1, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Of course, I'm my world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith. I'm Bishop David G. Evans. Faith acts like a thing is so. Even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.